The Great Hurricane of 1848 was the most destructive ever to hit Tampa Bay and nearby areas in recorded history. Both U.S. soldiers and Seminole Indians reported that the September 24th storm, at minimum a Category 4 hurricane, was disastrous for them. A survivor writing from Tampa Bay on October 2, 1848, reported that the storm surge rose 10 feet above the previous high water mark, destroying every building on the bay and river except for one. The wind and waves, he said, crushed everything in their path. Ships were found in the pine woods, and no trace was left in the places where buildings once stood. 2 Tallahassee Seminole chiefs came to Fort Brooke, a U.S. military post that once stood on the waterfront in Tampa, seeking emergency food for their people. They reported that the storm was very destructive in the interior, sweeping everything before it. At Fort Brooke, the assistant surgeon reported that the roof of the hospital was completely carried away and the doors and windows were broken in. He was able to save the medicine, but almost everything else was lost. The storm surge at the fort reached 15 feet. The post adjutant and assistant quartermaster reported that nearly every building in the fort was destroyed. All of the supplies were swept away, with the exception of some waterlogged provisions that the men were able to save. Major R.D.A. Wade, who commanded at Fort Brooke, reported that both the officers' quarters and the barracks for the enlisted men were destroyed. According to his report, the storm struck at 8 a.m. with great violence, with what must have been the eye wall hitting from 1 to 3 p.m. He reported miraculously that no lives were lost, but that difficult and dramatic rescues took place. To learn about other hurricanes, visit our website at 2eggtv.com. Looking back on the Great Tampa Bay Hurricane of 1848, I'm Dale Cox for 2egg TV.